But I think there's something important in that, eh? It's like we're righting a wrong. You know, renaming Uluru Uluru, getting rid of that kind of pretty shit name, and reinstating the traditional owners as the rightful owners of the land. That's righting a wrong. Good morning, great to see ya. It's a beautiful day, eh? Wow. You know why? Because we're in Queensland. Does it ever rain in this place? I'm not sure, I've been here for a few months. I haven't had much rain yet. And I reckon we're going for a walk in one of the most beautiful places in all of Queensland. This is Fraser Island, a little town of Yurong. I don't know if you can even call it a town, it's just like a little tourist resort. And you and I are going to be going for a stroll along the mighty, mighty Pacific. Although you've got to be a little bit careful on this beach, because if you've been to Fraser Island, or even if you haven't, this here is probably one of the busiest beaches in the entire world. Cars driving up and down here like it's a freeway. But it is a beautiful day. Let's go for a walk. I've been here on Fraser Island for about a week. And I must say, I was a little bit reluctant to come here. I don't know why. My wife had suggested it and was pretty keen to come, bring our four-wheel drive. Maybe I just had in my mind, you know, you see the pictures of Fraser Island, four-wheel drives bogged in the sand, cars on these narrow tracks that, you know, with no space to get past each other. And maybe just part of me was thinking, oh God, it just sounds like too much hard work. And then we got here, and like so many things in life, isn't it? Suddenly I realised, God, what was I so upset about? Why was I so reluctant to come here? Because maybe the best way to describe it, in the local indigenous language, the language of the Butchulla people, Fraser Island is called Kagari. And Kagari, do you know what it means? It means paradise. Gee, I reckon they had it about spot on, didn't they? Because in terms of places we've been on this trip, there are pretty few places that are more like paradise than here on Fraser. It's been an amazing few days. We've done some epic four-wheel driving up and down the beach. Had a kind of sketchy moment where we were crossing a creek close to high tide and the water came up over the bonnet and up over the windscreen, which was amazing. We've driven these beautiful four-wheel drive trails through pristine rainforest all over the island. And it takes you places like deserted lakes where there's nobody. I mean, where on earth can you drive in through pristine rainforest, set yourself up on an amazing, like, turquoise lake all by yourself? And then alongside that, we've stayed in some nice accommodation. And maybe that's also part of the reason I'm going so much about this place. It's because having spent the last year living in 8 square metres with 4 of us, I'm just happy to have the space again, you know, to be able to enjoy being able to stretch out and not be literally sitting on top of each other all the time. I've been thinking a bit while we've been travelling around Fraser about how you talk to most Australians will have heard of Fraser Island. But if you say Kagari, you know, the indigenous name here, people will be like, what? Where? Most people anyway. I reckon in 10 years' time, maybe longer, but eventually everybody will know Fraser Island as Kagari. A bit like how back in the 90s, I think it was, Uluru was renamed from, literally like renamed its original name of Uluru instead of Ayers Rock. So many places here in Australia, you know, some European bloke arrived and dropped a European name on some ancient landform where, you know, indigenous people have been calling it something else for thousands and thousands of years. And eventually, you know, we come to our senses and we're like, oh, actually that's Uluru. And now you talk about Uluru, it's a name that's recognised all over the world. And it's more beautiful, isn't it, than Ayers Rock. Ayers Rock. No, Uluru. Sounds much more unique and beautiful. You know, some European dude rocked up, just named it after some bloke. Let's face it, it was always named after a bloke, and yet the indigenous people had thousands of years to work out what was the best name for a place. So it wouldn't half surprise me if Fraser, sooner rather than later, it's no longer called Fraser Island, but instead it's called Kagari by all of us. In fact, I'm going to do my bit. I'm not going to talk about Fraser Island anymore. I'm going to talk about Kagari. But I think there's something important in that, eh? It's like we're righting a wrong. You know, renaming Uluru, getting rid of that kind of pretty shit name, and reinstating the traditional owners as the rightful owners of the land. It's righting a wrong. Here on Kagari, eventually, when it's no longer known as Fraser and we just call it Kagari, and I mean the Butchulla people are already, you know, given a significant role here in managing the national park and managing the lands, that's righting a wrong. What about us in our day-to-day lives? Can we right wrongs that we've done to other people? Yeah, absolutely. And it's important, right? Because, I don't know about you, maybe you're an evil bastard and you don't care. But if that's not you, then we all carry these kind of burdens, right? Things that we feel guilty about, things that we've done wrong by other people, whether it's like our friends or our partners, our parents, or even just people that we've come across in life, people from school. And like, we carry that like as a burden. But you don't want to be burdened in this life. You want to be free. Free to like breathe every breath without feeling like you're being weighed down. And so it's important to right the wrongs. Even if it's hard, you know, suck it up and go and talk to that person you've done something wrong to and tell them that you're sorry for doing shit things. I mean, I've done stupid things. I've said hurtful things, you know, been nasty to people. So if I've ever done that to you, I'm really sorry, like truly, honestly. And there's probably too many people to apologise to in some way, at least for privacy. I don't want to name names, but you know who you are. And yeah, those are things that I may have said that I'm not proud of. So sincerely, like, I'm very sorry. I'd like to right that wrong by apologising from the bottom of my heart. Of course, in righting wrongs, there's lots of different wrongs out there. There's the wrongs that we've done to other people, but then there's the kind of wrongs, like these big ones, like the way that historically, you know, the European settlers here interacted with the traditional owners, the indigenous people. That's a wrong that we really need to make right in whatever way that we can. And that's hard as an individual, right? Like, I know a lot of people don't want to be involved in that, just don't want to accept any responsibility. They say, well, that happened 200 years ago. I shouldn't be responsible for something that happened 200 years ago. Well, yeah, there's some truth in that. But it's our responsibility as a society to move forward, to right our wrongs as a society. So no, it's not your fault, but it might not be your fault, but it is your responsibility. Let's be a responsible society and right the wrong. And for you, whatever you're getting up to today, I hope it's a good one. Right or wrong if you can, and you'll feel lighter. And that way, you can enjoy the beautiful day that we've all been gifted. Whether it's sunny, whether it's raining, whether it's snowing, it's hot or cold, it don't matter. It's always a beautiful day. So make it the most beautiful day you can. I'll see you next time on the morning walk. Thanks for joining me on Fraser Island. See you soon.